Dreaming of owning a property in a prime location with great proximity and fantastic neighborhood? EJ Investments Sanyang Seaview Estate is the best choice you have been waiting for. Our Sanyang Seaview Estate is approximately 15 minutes drive away from the busy hub of Brusubi roundabout and into the heart of nature, where you can have a peaceful and relaxed lifestyle with your family. You can buy a finished 4-bedroom story with 5-year flexible payment plan or a service plot with 2-year payment plan option. With over 300 homes, you will enjoy big tar roads with covered drainage, modern electrification with solar street lights, gated entrance with security post, and a breath-catching experience of our beautiful sea view and lake view. You can own a home today at our Sanyang Seaview Estate. Call us today on 446-4838 or 325-9220. Visit our website on ejinvestments.net. EJ Investments, first in property.
All right.
Honey, did you remind him that the last time he sent the money, it was not enough to buy all the provisions?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell him.
Are you guys talking about money transfer to buy provisions?
Yes.
But don't you know about Baluwo?
Baluwo? What is Baluwo?
Baluwo is a service that your son can use to send provisions directly to you guys from the shop. And you don't have to worry about the exchange rate.
Tell me how Baluwo works.
It's very simple.
Just log on to baluwo.com and shop, or download the app on your phone. You can shop on the website or using the app to buy online basic products for your family and friends. With Baluwo, you decide what your money is spent on. Your money, your choice. Buy online products for your family and friends in the Gambia, Senegal, Nigeria or Mali. Baluwo, better than sending money.
Stewart & Co. Solicitors, a legal excellence firm in London that can help you with all aspects of your legal work. If you are looking at immigrating to the United Kingdom, Stewart & Co. can help you to set up business, buy houses in the UK, and will deal with all your legal works from start to finish.
For all your general immigration work, we can help you with that as well. If you're applying for any form of visa, whether student visas, settlement visas, marriage visas, or a child wanting to come to the United Kingdom to settle with the family, we can help you to achieve your goals.
Stewart & Co. Solicitors, a legal excellence firm specializing in conveyancing, immigration, litigation, family law, personal injury, licensing, no win, no fee. Contact us today at www.sk-solicitors.com.
Nijaay, saako maalo bi jeex na te diwlin bi jeex na dama am pour dem marché.
Ah, Pape, dégg nga li ndaw si wax de. Léegi nag dimbali ma rek nga lebal ma benn bidon ngi diwlin ak benn saaku maalo. Soo ci mënee boole soble sax nga boole ko ci. Sama doom, Lamine, su yónnee xaalis bi rek ma fay la sa xaalis.
Non, bu digg diwlin ma mënuma la ko lebal. Parce que doo ma dee fay on time loolu moo tax mënuma laa lebal.
Daal yow sa doom bi fan la nekk?
Sama doom mu ngi Angleterre.
Angleterre. Daal xanaa yoo yëguloo Baluwo service ku ko am fu waay mun a nekk si àdduna bi mën na laa yónnee ndugg si nu gaaw te amul benn jafe-jafe amul ne réew bi dafa po te xoolal soble diwlin maalo pompiteer ak li ñu mel sooy yegg baluwo.com di nga ko am. Gis nga ku bëgg a jëfandikoo Baluwo service bi dugal sa Play Store nga type baluwo.com downloadal app bi nga jëfandikoo ko ci nu mu gën a gaawee.
Sam pap
dee na.
déedéet daf ma yónni woon ma joué ko pay bi.
waaw
yàlla def mu gagné jàppoon. $100,000 la.
laa ilaaha illallah.
te yow xam nga ne sama papa dafa amee cardiaque.
yow da ngaa dof yow xam nga luy $100,000.
xam naa ko kay man daal dañoo bëggoon nga dimbali ci.
demal
na nga def damaa toog rek sama xel mi ne ci yow xam nga barki démb li daal si benn waay fee ma romb ko rek barki démb muy yuuxu di tëb ma ni kii lu ko dal ñu ne ma daal ci loto gaming Gambie bi la laal
jar na ko
laal na ci lu di waaw
nga dafa am quarté am kente am tiercé waaw maanaam nag tey jii kente bi la te jackpot bee passé xaalis
kente mooy lan
kente maanaam mooy juróomi fas yi
waaw beneen bi
am na quarté mooy ñeenti fas yi ak tiercé tey nag xaalis bi daa gën a yokk lu tax ndax jackpot bële dañ kaa tegaat ci bii maanaam juróomi fas yi boo ko jàppee ci ordre mooy risque nga désordre bi sax day fay bu ma ko jàppoon
yooyu moom noonu la demee da ngay dem rek jouer
am na lu ma yaakaar
man gis naa seen kii yi kees yu ndaw yi ci biir dëkk bi mais daal dama ni lii moom amul xaalis da nga ciy def sa xaalis da am
jël wecce rek sànni ko fa xool jëmbat la laa ilaha illallah yow li nga wax ni tey ji bu yàlla dogaloon ma gañe ko lu mu gàtt
fi mu toll nii boo gañe woon $100,000
waaw nu may def
waaw nooy def
xam nga yow sama xarit nga
waaw
damay fexe nga rey say noonu
ci nan
lu mu gàtt $50,000
waay
Thierno woowee ambulance
lan la lu xew ni
sa baay gay dee na
sama papa gay lu ko rey
$100,000 dalaa ne ko boo ma gàññaloon si li ma la yónni dama ko koy jox mu daanu ni sama kaw
man waxuma ko mu waxee woon la ko noonu yow la ko waroon informé ndax yow yaa ko gañe yaa gañe jàppoon
na broda min ba Europe Mr. Conte nka bo wala kol kan sai na so kono mano banta jabo banta tulo ban sai ka wala kol kan da ka ba official kono ba dama bulo mutarin baka ta funtula no ko mbato ngane ta ya puriye ma ko do banta nga ta mano sani tulo ni jam
munda bete ni la broda man balwo service kalam
mun service
balwo service
ni da furonte mo kala
munda afela broda ko abitala internet all aya ba site la woldo balwo.com nay wo sajje a apo ñu ba download la telephone lo na be sandiro to ni wal na be sidin ala office ko ndama manjar pour ay ta bank ko kodoki abe sidin office ko no daminto ito message so yo telephone ko no e bitiko be Gambia dawda bitiko ba belo ko ta tano dawda yeta fenko tawo wodama
yala bari wa service na tamol da hannu matanyo le kan fija na bro dan ka ko matanyo lo ayo ko fija ha
balwo service dinkirala jampo o manken na kolaya ko balwo service al demano kaje ko ale domor feŋol sang alla dimbaya moli ana lakkanun tewol wato bela ani wad sudum fanan kono balwo service la dinkiralu ani la do kunyolu e banko karo beto kabirin katon fo koyna nalla fa ko ku ko tan so balwo service la kolto ali commandi telephone line la milbuko 9400213 7694319 wala 3192870 wala hankabi alta internet oto alila kolu jibe www.baluwo.com.
The summer cheese bar Fulani, yeah Wow Sami gasa dem ganvela Nema di chill spot Baby, yeah Me say Granvilla Nema di chill spot we chillina Go inna Yo Granvilla Nema di chill spot Baby, yeah Me say Granvilla Nema di chill spot we chillina Go inna, yeah. Wanna have a cool place to need you. Granvilla at the place to be, yeah. Cool view, come chill and relax. Have fun, enjoyment to the max. 752-7218. Take a phone call to Granvilla, yeah. Special treatment for the idea. Right place to be, so I'm telling you, yeah. It's the right place to be. Come on, phone and enjoy the life. Cool place to be. Yeah. For more information, just log on to www.granvillaguesthouse.com.
Diwli lanni maro lanni
fop lanni
awa joni mi anda honno gerdeten e ngaldo sabu e ngaldo Ibrahima jonnal taw joni mi anda se yahay kapitiki nyawloden ha humpondire makko est ce qu'on non e warude
waden no
ane ko de Ibrahima ma ko to woni mo Amerique
ko America woni kede humpitaki fi ɓe musidɓe men baluwo ɓe andanɗa kala ko wawɗa wonde e aduna o si a rewi e juuɗe maɓɓe a jonnay ɗo dépassement o Gambia har no weeɓi a yahata kadi taw ko mbuɗi ɗi no ƴawi walla no jippi ɓe haalantama ko kala ko falɗa ko sengo ñamete ili nebba maaro basalle pomme de terre kala ko rewi ɗon a hendoto har no weeɓi kadi wona ɗum ɗon tum ɓe jonnira e mobile phone siko ɗum kadi laptop kala ko wayrode ɗi hay kasbawa ɓe wawma jonnude kadi sa fala humpitade ko weeɓi ƴettu Google account ma on joni data ton waɗa download app maɓɓe on ayiyay kala ko humpima e maɓɓe ton ɓe weeɓi yama
ka wonɗa wo e aduna on
kala ko wawɗa
a jonnanayi wonɗo ka leydi men Gambia ɗo dépense
hara no weeɓi hama si ɗum non fof no neeɓi immoɗen joni mi ɗowtama ka place maɓɓe jan
waɗen joni
iya heɓa ko falata
waɗen kisam
Good morning, everyone. Before we start our proceedings for this morning, and I have our religious leaders offer some prayers. Imam C, you have the floor, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين وإن تستفتحوا قد جاءكم الفتح نصر من الله وفتح قريب وبشر المؤمنين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل والله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر وسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Shukran, Sayyid. Imam C. Bishop, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Lord God Almighty, to whom all power belongeth, to whom all things are under your submission, we thank you that you reveal things to us at appropriate time for good reasons. We know that there is nothing that is hidden that shall not be revealed. And so as we continue in the sittings of the TRRC, by Holy Spirit's power, you are gradually revealing things to us. And as you reveal things to us, we ask that the heart will be healed, that reconciliation will be possible, reparation will take place, and your justice will also descend mightily on this land. We ask that by your power, that all people in this land will learn to come to reality with the fruits that we are facing, and will learn to accept the real things so that our lives will be ordered in the right direction. This we ask through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Bishop. Council, are we ready to continue our proceedings?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready to start. May I ask the usher to bring in the witness, please? Welcome back, Mr. Jatta. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Jatta, are you in a condition to proceed with your testimony?
Ready to go.
You're ready to go, sir? Good. May I remind you that you're still under oath? You have an obligation to speak the truth. Remember, it is an offense to give false information or false testimony to the commission. It is also an offense to refuse to answer questions. But that said, you also have a right to remain silent. You also have a right not to incriminate yourself. I just wish to remind you that we've given you these warnings on several previous occasions, and you have signed documents indicating that you have received those warnings. Could you confirm, sir?
Correct, sir.
And those obligations still subsist until you finish your testimony. You understand?
I do.
Yesterday, you talked about 3 missions that you were present in and participated in 2. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
Could you draw the microphone closer to you and make sure you speak into the microphone so that we can all hear you?
Okay, sir, I do.
Yesterday, you talked about 3 missions. The first mission in which you participated was the execution of a person called Dauda Nyasi, correct?
Correct.
And the second operation was the execution of Ndongombu.
Correct.
And the third operation was the assassination of Deeba Haidara.
Correct, sir.
And before we proceed, I would just like to clarify certain aspects regarding the assassination of Mr. Haidara. You did indicate that your deployment consisted of 3 taxis.
Correct.
A 190 Mercedes, a V-boot Mercedes, and a Mercedes 200.
Correct, sir.
Can you explain to the Commission the formation of these vehicles as at that time Mr. Haidara was being shot?
At the time of shooting, the 2 other vehicles, that is the V-boot and the 190, were behind the vehicle of the victim.
And who were in those 2 other vehicles, as far as you know?
These were vehicles that were commanded by late Malafikor and Bombardier, alias Bombardier, what his real name is Kausu Kamara.
Do you know the driver of the vehicle in which Bombardier was in?
That was by law, sir.
Do you know whether the occupants of the 2 other taxis, the taxi led by Manlafikor and the taxi led by Bombardier, do you know whether the soldiers in those taxis fired their weapons at the victim's car?
I wouldn't be sure if they have fired, because immediately after our shooting, we didn't stop. It was on the move, and our driver continued driving in the street. These people were fired behind the victim's vehicle.
You told us yesterday that His Excellency, President Jammeh, ordered the assassination of Deeba Haidara whilst you were in the car going to carry out the operation, correct?
I have said that I have heard him speaking to the commander at the time, but I couldn't hear from the other side what he was telling Tumbul, but I heard Tumbul saying repeatedly, yes, sir, Your Excellency, yes, sir, Your Excellency, and after that, he will be given directives, implying that he is under his command.
Good. So in your understanding of what has happened, who ordered the killing of Deeba Haidara?
It must be Yahya Jammeh.
Let me read out for you a newspaper of of the Gambia Daily News of the 22nd December 2004. We just have the cuttings. We would produce the original at a later stage to the Commission. But I just want to read out to you what was said in the paper. It says as follows. The headline is, "Government condemns shooting as a cowardly act." And it goes on to say, the government of the Gambia is saddened by and concerned about the shooting to death of Mr. Jatta Haidara, proprietor of the Point newspaper. The government vehemently condemns this cowardly act and pledges to do its utmost best to apprehend the culprits and bring them to book. The security agencies are already conducting investigations, and the public is urged to provide any information they may have on the incident to see that justice is done. What do you say about this?
Complete cover-up.
Don't you feel disappointed?
Completely disappointed. I have been disappointed since the time I heard this in the news. And that's why I mentioned in my statement that I was disappointed and there was manipulation going on in putting soldiers to service that would have been genuine service to serve our people.
But are you offended being called a coward by that same government that got you to do the act?
Of course.
Do you feel let down by Jammeh?
Completely.
If we were to assess who was the coward in this occasion, who would you point out to be the coward?
I will say he is a coward because in my responsibility at the time as a lance corporal, my duty was to implement the order. And his duty was to make decisions and set directives. If he gives a directive that he is dodging away from, then he is the coward. I was completely out to defend and protect my people according to what the command has described, a rebellion to be crossed.
Thank you very much. We would now proceed from the killing of, or rather the assassination of Mr. Haidara. We would now move on to the next operation or the next mission in which you participated. Let's talk about the events that happened in July 2005 when some other foreign nationals were killed. Could you tell us about that?
Well, prior to that, immediately after this shooting was the time I started getting the difficulty with my peers in the team then, especially my immediate command. Then I started opening the gap that when I come to Combo, I will not go back. I will stay sometimes 2 months in Combo. The public reaction to my activity in reference to my job was not also helping me.
Can you explain that, please?
Sometimes I will be provoked that, this man is dismissed. He has lost his job.
But at this time, you had a family member in the army, didn't you?
In 2005?
After the killing of Mr. Haidara, you started staying away from Kanilai, sometimes spending 2 months at a go in your home village. This was 2005 because Mr. Haidara was killed on 16th December 2004 rather. That was 1 day after your birthday, correct?
Yeah.
You celebrated your birthday today. The next day you went and participated in the assassination.
I never celebrate my birthday.
Well, okay, you lived through your birthday, and then the next day you participated in taking the life of another person, correct?
Correct.
So after that, you started staying away from Kanilai, as you said. But during this period, you had a brother who also served in the forces, correct?
Yes, correct. But I wouldn't remember whether he was in the office at that time or was removed. I cannot remember exactly when he left the office.
He must have been either CDS or minister, correct, of Interior?
Correct.
In fact, he served as CDS for almost 10 years, correct? From 1994 to 2005. So,
correct.
Thereabout. So after CDS, he became Minister of Interior, isn't it?
Correct.
Yes. But these absences, this prolonged period of absences you had, what would it normally result to in the army?
It may result to, AWOL. It may result to...
educate us a bit. What does AWOL mean?
Absent without leave.
And isn't that a court-martialable offense?
It is an offense.
And it can lead to what type of punishment?
And orders where the reprimand will be decided by the command.
Stripping of ranks, correct?
Possible.
Demotion.
Demotion.
Imprisonment.
Imprisonment.
Dismissal from the force.
Dismissal.
None of those happened to you?
Those are the lightest in reference to the situation and circumstances I was dodging away from.
Yeah. But none of those possible and lawful sanctions were meted out on you? None? No. They continued to tolerate you?
I'm telling you, with reference to the circumstances and the situation I was running away from, those are the lightest I could have got.
But nothing happens to you?
Nothing happened.
Okay. And did you go back to Kanilai?
I would go back to Kanilai when I feel it is comfortable that the team is in combo. And once they come to Kanilai, if it is not too late, I will find my way to combo because I don't want them to be putting me at circumstances that I will not be able to say no, and it may be dangerous for me.
But then tell us what happened in July 2005.
Can you please remind me?
The killing of the so-called mercenaries.
Before that killing of those mercenaries, I was on that attitude of running away from the work area, and information was sent that was reference to Haruna Jammeh that I suspected, and I raised that in this investigation, and I believe the investigation is reached to a conclusion.
And then?
No.
And then did you have occasion to be called out to go and participate in another mission?
This was the one that you are talking about, which they quoted as the mercenaries. Yes. I was in Kanilai. As they found me in Kanilai, surprisingly, in that very night, it was said that it was an emergency falling for a patrol. But it was so hastily done because I finally believe that, maybe the commanders were getting in touch with the vehicles that were coming from Combo. That's why they had to rough up everything.
Proceed.
We left from Kanilai. I was in Solo's vehicle again.
Can you explain what falling means? Not everybody here understands military language.
To gather together, militarily.
So can you tell us, at Kanilai, who was gathered together?
At Kanilai, at this time, the team was, it was increased. From the previous, 4 to 5 men, that is Tumbulu, Solo, Manjang, myself, Jeng.
Let's get it clearly. Solo would be Solo Bojang.
Yes, sir.
Manjang would be Sana Manjang. Jeng would be?
Aliwu Jeng.
And who else?
Tumbul Tamba. Myself, Malick Jatta. And that was the previous team.
Yes.
But at this point in time, it was increased. We have the inception of Michael Jatta. We have Mfazun Nyabali. We have Mustafa Sane.
And Mustafa Sane. Good. So this group, what were they told when they all gathered together?
We gathered and they said it was an emergency patrol. We have to go out. So it was all on a rush.
And how did you have to go out? Tell us how you were dressed and what did you carry, if any?
We were dressed in military or in combat order, and we were having our firearms.
What does combat order mean?
Completely prepared on combat outfit.
Completely prepared for battle?
For battle, of course. In combat, that's why I said combat outfit.
That's right. We want to break it down so people would understand. So you are dressed in battle-ready outfit, and you had your weapons?
Yes, sir.
And then what happened after that?
We boarded the vehicles, and they hastily pulled out. When we were coming out of Wani, as I have described, Wani to be the area in which the former president's compound is located. You know, just coming out of the gate, we saw a convoy of vehicles with full light heading from the other direction towards our area. Then Solo came close to the edge of the park where, you know, the festival used to take place, took a bend to the left, headed towards the south, that is getting into customers from around the graveyard of the village.
At this stage, was there any form of communication between your group and the convoy you saw approaching?
I wouldn't be sure. I wouldn't know what was the communication like, but I believe the commanders were in touch, and this could have put them to that hasty, you know, rush.
From what you saw, did it appear that there was coordination between the two groups?
It was.
It was coordination?
There was coordination.
Okay. And proceed, please.
Then from there, he drove. It was a long drive into customers by that bush track that joined Kanilai from their graveyard area, you know. We from Kanilai did not know what was the mission about. So it was like when he came to a halt and the other vehicles were following him that were coming from Combo N in that convoy, also followed when he took that bunch behind.
So you knew that you were crossing the border into Casamas?
At that time, I did not know that the border was so close to the fence. Because I told you that, you know, we were not very familiar with the ground. It was later when I come to realize that there was something like around, it's not a pole, but it's something a little bit raised that was just on a line, you know, alongside the fence of the former president. That was pointed to me that this was the border. But the road that was next to the fence was just after that, you know, mark. So at that time, I wouldn't know that we were going to Casamas. It was after all when I realized that this is the border and it was identified to me, I knew that we have been to Casamas.
Okay. And tell us what happened when you arrived at your destination in Casamas.
When he pulled to a halt, I came from the car. It's like I did not know what was going on. As I come from the car, he has already gone down and went behind. So as I was approaching, going towards him behind, you know, his vehicle was the lead car. So I had to come backwards to know what's going on. In that movement, I saw him pushing somebody and said to me, "Aha, escort him." Then he pointed to a truck to the left. So the victim was to lead. I was behind him, and he solo behind me. And he said, "Just continue moving. Follow the truck." As the victim went to a point, it appears like it was the brink of a ditch. Automatically, he stopped. When he stopped, that was the time Solo put the torchlight from behind me and said, "Shoot, shoot." I had no choice. I had to shoot. But from there, I came back and sat in the vehicle.
Let's get it slowly. What did you shoot at?
I shot at the victim.
You killed him?
Yes, sir.
And then what did you do after that?
I came back and sat in the vehicle. I was traumatized, confused. I cannot even explain the mood. While I was in the vehicle, I heard a voice from behind saying, "Jesus, save us. Jesus, help us." And this was being said constantly. All of a sudden, I heard somebody running from the back, and shots were fired from the back with shoutings, "Hey, hey, hey, hey." So I saw this man came up to close to my vehicle, and he took a branch to the right. If I was in the mood to shoot, he wouldn't have escaped me. But I was then completely fed up. I will only act where I have no chance to survive. When he bent to the right, he didn't go even more than 20 meters from the car, and he went down. He lay down flat on his belly. I was looking at him. I never said a word. I never engaged him.
Did he say a word?
He said something. It was like, is it two or two? He said a word which I cannot remember anyway.
Do you know the language he used?
I don't know the language.
Was it a foreign language to you?
It obviously would not be a Gambian language.
And then what happened?
And then after that, that truck I was, directed to escort the past victim. They were going. Men were also, escorting others using that truck, but I will be hearing their shots.
You were hearing their what?
Shots.
Shots?
Yes, sir.
So as you were there, orders were being executed?
Yes, sir. I was sitting in the vehicle.
And who was executing these people?
These were members of the patrol team, and I could remember seeing a driver there that was not part of the patrol team.
Okay, give us the names of the people who were there shooting.
Actually, I cannot tell you who and who were exactly shooting because it was in the night. I would know that, they have passed to go when I was seated. I'm telling you, I was in a very frustrated situation at that time, and I was sitting in the car. But that the shooting was taking place, I know that shooting was taking place because I could hear the shots from the direction at which I was, led to by Solo.
At this stage, where was Sana Manjang?
Sana was part of that convoy.
At this stage where, after the killing of the person you shot, you were now sitting in the car, where was Sana Manjang?
He was busy going up and down with these people.
Participating in the execution?
Fully, sir.
How about Solo Bojang?
The same thing.
How about Aliu Jeng?
Aliu Jeng was on board that day, but I'm telling you that I cannot tell you exactly that I saw this man passing. I will only hear their shots and see their shadows going in the darkness.
Was he sitting in the vehicle with you?
Not the same vehicle with me.
Did you see him remain in a vehicle?
No. I think after my shooting, I was the only one sitting in the vehicle prior to the completion of that assignment.
Everybody else was down.
Everybody else was down.
We have a different version of events from other participants, and I will read out from a statement by one of your colleagues, and you will tell us whether it is true or false. The witness said as follows: "We first took 15 out of the lots to Kanilai and handed them over to Sana Manjang and Malick Jatta, who were the ones firing anytime we brought them near the well. We returned back for the second trip, which was also 15 people, to Kanilai and handed them over again to Sana Manjang and Malick Manga. The remaining people we left behind were executed by Kausu Kamara Bombardier, Bailo, Musa Baji, and Major Sajo Jaju, alias Hitler, and their dead bodies were later found at Ghana town near Burfoot." So this witness is saying that the first batch that was brought was handed over to Sana Manjang and you, who are the people doing the shooting. Is that wrong?
I have never received, this victim from anybody. I was a lance corporal and there were commanders. One he is wrong. I fear the fact that he may be trying to cover up somewhere that he has acted. I will not sit in the face of the whole world to lie here. I tell you that I will not use the Quran for a mockery, and I have explained my part. But
Yes,
I would like that individual to also stand and explain what he has done.
We would come to that. We would come to that. The question is, did you shoot more than one person?
I shot only one person, and in that frustration, I came and shot this person who escaped. I can say I saved him because I did not mention about him until when I am called upon in this investigation. At the time of my arrest, I made it clear. I mentioned it. That was some 2 years back, 2.5 years back.
So you're suggesting you could have killed the person, but you let the person escape?
Yes, sir. If I was to engage him at 20 meters, sir, I will not miss my target.
We have information that, yes, indeed, one person escaped. It's a Ghanaian called Kieri. That is confirmed. The person has visited Gambia several times. But do you know how many people have been killed?
I don't know actually how many people were killed because in my moment of trauma, I would not be there to be counting. But there were several shots fired. And this particular witness, if you ask him, he will tell you that he escaped through the right of the convoy, not the left. If he is the guy, he escaped through the right of the convoy, and he was just barely less than 20 meters away from me. I was in the vehicle. He may not know that there was somebody in that lead car, but I was sitting down watching at him. If I was up to shooting him, he wouldn't move.
So in total, you don't know how many people were killed?
I don't know how many people, but I know the number of men brought that day for killing was more than 7.
Well, we have received information that there were 2 batches of 15 who were brought for execution that same night.
In your mentioning of the second batch, you made mention of Malick Manga.
I know
Is
that.
that
I noticed the
of the
difference.
tongue, or?
I noticed the difference. The first one was handed over to Sana Manjang and Malick Jatta. The second one to Sana Manjang and Malick Manga.
It's a fabrication. Malick Manga was never a driver to our patrol team.
The witness did not say Malick Manga was a driver. Is it possible that the witness meant to, in fact, say Malick Jatta?
That is where I am saying that, he said it's me for the second time, or?
No, that would be clarified. That would be clarified with the witness when the witness appears. The important thing here, Mr. Jatta, is you have participated in those killings. Whether
Yes.
it is one person, whether it is 7 people.
I have participated, and I'm up to telling you that I have participated, counsel, sir.
That's right. So we just want to get the facts so that the people would know that this is exactly what happened. All right? But did you actually see the physical handover of these victims?
Nay. What happened was that when we were coming from Kanilai, from Wani, we saw this convoy heading towards the gate. So when Solo took a branch to the left, heading to Casamas, then we did not even knew that there were these victims. The person who gave this information, I'm afraid, may not get it correct, you know.
This place you said is in Casamas.
It's in Casamas, of course.
Would you be able to recognize this place again?
This is my problem today. I have said that, you know, that is my only dismay in my whole testimony. I wish I am able to remember and I am able to locate this position. I will accomplish my statement. I have gone further to indicate that I will be ready to stand and, bear witness of whatever information I have given to the Gambian people against the former president. So in order to accomplish my evidence, would have been my pleasure. But circumstances naturally would not favor me to be able to remember that.
And the victims, how were they disposed of?
Now, at that point, at the brink of that ditch, which appears like a ditch in front, If you shoot from behind, the guy goes straight. The shot will force him direct into that ditch.
What kind of a ditch was that?
I suppose it may be an old well, because this leaching can take place to widen the brink of a well along the time due to rainfall.
Did they physically carry the victims and put them in the well, or the victims just fell in the well automatically?
I would lie to you if I want to say that, but what I know is that when I shot, the guy just went into the ditch. So when I came back, they are shooting, I was not there. But I believe they must have brought these guys also in the same manner I was ordered to escort this man.
After these killings, did you discuss with any one of them what happened there?
When we were on our way back, I asked again, who are these people? It was said to me by Solo that these are mercenaries that were arrested somewhere in Combo by the NIA.
And
we didn't discuss anything further.
Did they mention any other names as having been involved?
So far, it was not at this time.
Can you tell us which patrol teams were involved in this particular operation?
I believe two of the patrol teams, if there would be an absentee, maybe Bombard's patrol team, because I did not see him in person.
Orakoli?
Orakoli was present.
Malafikor?
Malafikor, I cannot remember seeing him.
I have read out a statement to you from one of the witnesses, which suggests that there was another group of the patrol team which executed some other people in Brufut, in Ghana town. Are you aware of that?
I suspected.
Tell us how you came to have that suspicion.
That suspicion, during my interaction with Bailo in Kanilai, I have completely forgotten to give that information. He explained this to me that, in that execution, Musa Baji was even negligent until one of the victims was almost taking his rifle from him. They had to help to save their own team from the effect of that man getting the rifle from Musa Baji. But this was a narration, and I did not witness it.
Did
he can stand and say,
in
I
that
did not
narration,
tell him.
in that narration, did he say what happened to those people?
He said they were killed and they dropped them on the roadside. But after that operation also, I had a mention about where Sanamajan took somebody to this place, is it Tintiba or Santamba? I had that on rumors, but that incident of Sanamajan taking that man also found me at the school. This particular person, I believe, escaped from them, Bombard's team, and he was sliced series of times. And I think he escaped.
By sliced, you mean cut?
Cut.
Where was he cut?
Deep cuts.
Where?
All over the body. He was, arrested by some people around, is it Kankurang or which village exactly, I cannot remember. But Sana came with the man up to the school where we were and found me with Bailo. There I left them. People were surrounding the man. I left them and I was at the Taj house. But after that, I did not see Sana and I did not see Bailo. Where they have taken this man, I did not know. Until recently in my detention, I heard Bailo mentioning that Sana took him to Santamba and cut him into pieces. I did not know how Bailo knew that Sana took him to Santamba. I was left at the Taj house because when people were surrounding that man there, you could not watch the man. Your feelings would not allow you to watch the man.
What was his national?
I don't know his national.
His nationality, first to pick. Okay. So, when you returned to Kanilai after this operation, did you guys talk about it?
No. We were advised previously not to even discuss these issues amongst us.
Did you later hear statements about killings of foreign nationals in the country?
During my detention, I heard it that, it was Ghanaians who were traveling on back way and got arrested here. But I cannot tell the full story, because I would hear people just discussing it. At the time the information was in the media and on the public media, I was not then completely free to be watching myself.
Why was that?
I am under detention.
No, I mean, okay, that group that you belong to, these junglers, or these members of the patrol team, or the black, or the black scorpions, after this killing, were there any arrangements that were made for you in terms of how you were accommodated?
Nay.
Didn't you move to a house?
It was only a house that was given around Kotu in an observation of the rumor, the coup plot rumor of 2006 after this incident.
Whose house was that?
This was the late Baba Job's house, I believe. I don't know, officially who it belongs to, but I heard also that Baba Job owns that compound.
And this was now a house dedicated for the junglers, correct?
Well, how I would call it, sir.
And who lived in that house at the time?
In the house when we were coming there was nobody living there. We occupied the house, about me, Mustafa Sane shared the same room. Manjang was in his room.
Sana Manjang?
Yes, sir, Sana Manjang was in his room. Nyabali was occupying another room.
State the full names, please.
Fasu Nyabali was occupying another room different from the building down there. It was a slope, on the left-hand side on entry. And Ismaila Jammeh also came with his family, and his family was there until the time of changes.
Who got there first? Ismaila Jammeh and family, or Sana Manjang and his team?
Sana Manjang and the team. Ismaila at this point in time was in the team.
So you had a room there. And for how long did you remain in that place?
I didn't stay long in that house, in that place.
Why?
Because that was the time I mentioned that my personal values could not match my how to call it, peers' personal values.
Okay, let's examine that. There was a lot of alcohol, correct?
Yes, correct.
Were you drinking?
I was not drinking.
There was a lot of cannabis.
Yes.
Were you smoking?
I was smoking heavily then.
All of you were smoking heavily?
Yes, sir.
And what other vice was going on in there?
That was these ladies they bring in, and I wouldn't be happy with that, but I wouldn't choose to obstruct them too.
Where would they get them from?
They used to come from places like Kawas, and they would sometimes come up to Senegambia to pick whatever is their choice.
And how about the trafficking in cannabis?
It was going on.
At what scale?
A high scale.
You had a free reign to go to Casamas and bring weed into the country?
Not me in person.
I mean the junglers, the patrol team.
Well, I'm saying not me in person.
I am saying it's the junglers, the patrol team.
Yes, they would go and come.
And bring weed?
Yes.
And traffic in cannabis?
Not they themselves selling it, but they go and pick it for Pusamen.
They had a free reign to travel the country unchecked.
I even had once made a complaint to Tumbul that, these people are in the habit of taking people on patrol and going to load the vehicles, going on this peddling, after which they would put everything in their pockets, giving people whatever they feel like. It has to stop.
So in that house, you claim that you left, and where did you go to live?
I went back home to Tujereng, my native home.
Awol again?
Yes, call anyhow. it can satisfy you, sir.
So let's call it by what it is. It was owl.
Okay.
Good. So on this occasion, during this period, were you called upon about the Ndur Cham's coup?
On the D-Day.
On the D-Day. Tell us about it.
The day it was suspected that it was going to happen, I was called in the evening, and then I was not directly at home. I found my way home, and I gave a call to them, gave them a call to pick me, and they said I should make my way by myself.
Proceed.
I made my way by myself to State House. Upon arrival, I found men already paraded. Men of the battalion of the State Guard were paraded, but I was appearing from their back, the rear of the parade. Not knowing that there was the former president standing in front of the parade because I was approaching from the back. But I could see him sprinkling water, which I suspect was this spirit water, in our local language we call Naso. I was touched with that water.
And was it sprinkled on everybody?
Everybody who was on parade, this water was being sprinkled on them. And he
by
was
who?
The former president. And
Call his name?
Jammeh.
Okay. And was he saying anything when he was doing that?
He was making comments that, you all know me. In the event, you have an idea about this coup plot, and you sitting on the information, you will reveal by yourself. That means you will speak before morning. But in the event you have no idea about it, you'll be protected.
Did he say what would make them to speak?
That was by virtue of that water he was sprinkling.
So by sprinkling that water on people, they would start talking?
He believed that was a spiritual thing.
And you guys also believed him?
Pardon?
You guys also believed him?
That was his way of life, and many Gambians believe in that. And that was his way of life. Criticism was his way of life. To be honest.
Proceed. Well, we would come back to that.
We call this a fact-finding mission.
Yes, we will come back.
We have a problem as Gambia. We need to solve this problem, but before solving the problem, we have to know the root causes. And I am ready to give you all that you want as a country.
Tell us, we would come back to this particular issue, this sprinkling of NASO, as you call it, on things. So bear that in mind. Before the conclusion of your testimony, we will get into that. So after this ceremony of sprinkling of water on people, hoping that they would speak, did anybody speak, by the way?
Well, I cannot remember anybody speaking by himself.
But some spoke through other means, correct?
Correct.
And what means was that?
Forceful investigation.
Call it by its name.
Investigation by torture.
By torture. So people did not speak because of the NASO, but they spoke because of the whip.
Yes.
Tell us about that. How did that happen? Tell us about the arrests and the tortures.
At this point in time, the arrests were going on and many of the suspects were arrested. When the team came back and found me on the ground, I was picked and we went out for the arrest of Faring Sanyang at the airport. I have been following up these sittings here, and I heard you reading his statement during his court-martial. I was there to be effecting the arrest on him.
You arrested him, basically?
Yes.
On
the airport.
Tell us how you transported him and where you took him to.
When we got him, we put him in the vehicle. In fact, when we get to the airport, it was Manjang who faked him. He was not at his post.
Manjang who?
Sana Manjang. Faring was not found at his post. He left the post and went to the control tower. So Sana Manjang used a mobile to call him, and advise him that, people, we are here at your guard post. We have a ram for barbecue, and you are not here. You are the only one absent. So he promised that he said he was coming. Before his arrival, already we have opened.
What do you mean by that?
That is, we have deployed.
Deployed so
allowed him to come in so that we'll grip him without, any crossfire or interfering.
And then what happened when he arrived?
He came, I appeared from behind him and I advised him that you are under arrest in connection to this information going on. That is the coup plot.
And then what happened?
He accepted. We marched him to the vehicle and he boarded. When he boarded, immediately the driver pulled. He was on cuff, I think, if I am not mistaken. He popped up. I was sitting on the left side, I think. I had my pistol, I pulled the pistol. When he went up, I also had a feeling of insecurity because he's a commando and I have passed through the same course with him. I used the pistol to make sure that I calm him down, but I never strike. I used the pistol and it was under his chin. And I advised him that just yesterday you were my commander. If you give orders, I will take it completely. This is an order. Please comply and don't allow us to go do what we are not supposed to do. But as far as he has explained in his statement, it is not to my memory, but I will never hesitate to say I am sorry because I know all was wrong. Today I know all was wrong at that time. Because if a general can sit in this chair here and tell the entire world that they were fabricating, automatically anybody working under them was put wrong. That's my conclusion. I will not hesitate to say sorry to anybody I have affected.
So where did you take him?
If my memory can serve me well, I think we took him to Mile 2.
And then, was he ever taken anywhere else as far as you know?
He could have been taken to this NIA headquarters where this investigation panel was, but I don't think I can remember being there too.
Did you go to the NIA?
I used to go to the NIA, and this was in the year 2006, during the period of this coup plot arrest.
You know whether Faring was taken to the NIA?
I know he must have been taken there, sir.
Why do you say that?
Because it was the panel for the investigation of that issue was based at the NIA headquarters, so anybody suspected would have to pass through there.
Can you explain to us how the investigation arrangements were done? What you know was happening. Explain it, how the various entities were connected and how they were acting, if they were acting together at all.
I know that there was a panel that was set under conducting the investigation by questioning, but who were, the panelists, I wouldn't be able to tell you because I was not going upstairs.
And what would happen after they questioned witnesses?
The patrol team was downstairs. The command was in between the patrol team and the panelists.
And so tell us what procedures were adopted?
When the panelists will investigate and ask questions, if they are not satisfied with the questions, the answers to the questions that we are posing, and finding the suspect difficult to put him to proof as to what is their desire, they will advise these, patrol team commanders to be bringing them down, and the men will be whipping them. That is what I saw, and myself I did once.
And the men would be what?
Whipping them, beating.
And what was the purpose of that beating?
The purpose of the beating is to get to the truth from the man.
To get to the truth or to get them to confess to what you wanted?
Yes. That's a confession. A confession, it means truth to me.
No.
That is how they see it.
Well, they were being forced to
They were being forced, of course. That's quite correct.
To confess to crimes that they did not commit.
They were being forced.
And the patrol team was there to ensure,
of course,
that the victims or these suspects say whatever the panel wanted them to say. Correct?
Well, the thing is, beat them until they they have to confess their knowledge. That was the situation.
Participate in that?
Yes, I did participate in the torture of General Savage.
Tell us how that happened.
I can remember. When I came down from the vehicle, I found out that Jeng under this boy, Fansu Nyabali.
Which Jeng are you referring to?
Aliu Jeng, I'm sorry.
Yes. And Fansu Nyabali, yes.
Fansu Nyabali were sent to fetch sticks.
What was the purpose of those sticks?
Those sticks were used to beat, for beating the suspects.
And did Fansu Nyabali and Aliu Jeng bring the sticks?
They did.
And what happened?
I was given a stick and I was advised by Musa Jammeh, alias Malia.
Malia what?
Malia Mungo.
Okay, and then?
And that I should go and beat.
How about the others?
Others were beating him already.
Like who?
Like Sanam Manjang and the rest I will not remember exactly, because if I want to call, somebody may not be at that place beating him, but he may be at the place at the time.
Jeng, was he beating?
I don't see Jeng beating. Jeng brought the sticks.
The other person, Fansu Nyabali?
Fansu Nyabali also, I saw him brought the sticks.
Was he beating?
I didn't see him beating.
So who was beating?
The patrol team is
at
not
this
only
stage,
these two people.
It was only 6 of you who were present, wasn't
Yes.
it? Okay. That was yourself?
Ismaila was there, myself, Ismaila Jammeh,
Ismaila Jammeh,
myself, Sana Manjang, Michael Jatta, Mustafa Sane,
Mustafa Sane, Aliu Jeng, Fansu Nyabali.
Aliu Jeng, Fansu Nyabali.
That's 7 of you?
7, of course.
Yes.
And then Tumbul would be the commander.
Yes.
Yes.
To make 8. Yes,
yes sir.
Okay.
But in
the
this
commander wasn't beating, was he, Tumbul?
He wasn't beating.
Okay. You were not beating?
I was not beating. I just found Manjang and the others were beating. But I would say that apart from Fansu Nyabali and Jeng who went for the sticks, the others were beating.
You also beat?
I came, I was given the stick, I beat, and this man was still saying that I know nothing. When I raised for the second time, I couldn't help. I had to come back to Malia and said, look, sir, there is something you need to remember, that politics can be put into combat. You have to remember about combat politics. I'm afraid these people may put a politics in which they will impoverish the army by calling on all the good officers. If this incident is taking 2 weeks, and this man yes still is being beaten, is telling us that he knows nothing. Yes, the beating is proceeding.
You are suggesting?
I suggested to Malia, because Tumbulu would not listen at that time.
You are suggesting that this man was being beaten on several occasions for 2 weeks?
No, I witnessed that man beating, but the beatings was taking place different from that man. So sometimes I would be in the vehicle. I can remember at a point in time when I was asked to beat Yaya Dabo, but I said, no, I'm not going to touch this man. And that was the time I started sitting in the vehicle.
Your suggestion is that you beat only one person, General Savage.
That is what I can remember about council military operations. No soldier goes into military operations normal. Things could happen.
Let's get that straight. Let's dissect that. You don't go to military operations normal.
Yes, sir.
What do you mean?
Sometimes you need to take amphetamines to...
Could you say again?
Amphetamines. Like smoking cannabis, and others who will choose to drink wine, they will drink.
So it means to say all of you go to these operations somewhat intoxicated?
Of course, correct.
That day, were you intoxicated?
I smoke. In fact, my coming down was, to follow a joint from the boys, and I was given the stick. That was my reason of coming down from the vehicle at that time.
In fact, we have received testimony that all of you guys there, or the soldiers there, the junglers, were drinking sum-sum.
That is a concept of the people. I am here to tell you what is the real thing.
So for
Ismaila is not a smoker and is not a drunkard.
Yes,
we have got those type of people.
But most of you were
Mustafa was a drunkard, but he was never a smoker.
Yes, so most of you were either high on weed or drunk on Zum Zum.
And in the middle of all this, there was also cryptism. What? Cryptism.
What is that?
Cryptism, that is, this hypnotization from the head.
Could you say that again?
Cryptism. Cryptism.
I have no clue what that is.
Cryptism.
Is that a drug?
Cryptism is the process of, hypnotization.
By who?
The former president himself. And that is why I said if we don't know the root cause of the problem for the Gambia, we will never get away.
So are you telling us that he hypnotized those of you who are participating in these operations?
He will do everything possible to make sure that he reaches his goal, not only to the patrol team or the soldiers.
So the word you use, cryptism, from the word cryptic, it's like some occult type of thing. It's like some form of worship, and let's look at the word from Google. It says cryptism. It means secret, occult, having or seeming to have a hidden or ambiguous meaning, mysterious. Okay, so it's prophecies or things like that. Perplexing brevity, that is cryptic. Okay, so it means to say that, according to you, Jammeh was using means.
Exactly.
To get you people to do exactly what he wanted.
When he wants you to do something, he may even go further to look for your charity and give it out. On many occasions in the battalions, bulls will be taken in critical situations to be slaughtered, and his cooks, he will be having his own cooks to cook those meat. Whatever they are to use to cook it will have to come from him. After cooking it, everybody present will be forced to eat. I am speaking this not only for the purpose of my testimony here, but you can find out there are soldiers. In every battalion, this thing happens, and the bones will be gathered and brought back. If it is normal charity, why will the bones be needed?
Well, we may be laughing, but it's serious business. You said everybody would be forced to eat. Is that true?
On many occasions, find out from the battalions, from the soldiers. I know there are some who are still being defeated and dominated, mentally, but there are some who will be very honest and loyal to the Gambian people and tell you the truth.
And many would still be blinded by his hypnotism.
This is the problem we have got in the Gambia, because looking at the circumstances and the situations that we have passed through, people have lost their loved ones.
Was this crypticism, as you call it, was it limited to only the soldiers, or did it extend beyond?
Even, with the food that he used to send to the mosques during the month of Ramadan, they were specially prepared.
With what?
With this spirit water I talked about. And this is one of the reasons why he decided to build a kitchen in the State House. I knew this when I became an RSM in the battalion.
And what was his objective?
Is to control the mindset of all Gambians. That is what I believe. And that was why he was depending on his hubris. He has a complete confidence that nobody can do anything.
And public waters?
Pardon?
The public utility water.
Well, with the water, I have no idea about that. I don't want to speak on what I have not seen.
How about the biscuits?
The biscuits could be seen as charity, because looking at the nature of this position, appointment holders all over the world, who amongst them is doing this type of things? And this, he was doing it only for a period.
So your testimony is that Yaya Jammeh managed to control the minds of a lot of Gambians because of his occultism.
Yes, to attest that, let me give you this example. During the time of Tambajiro's witch hunting in Kanilai, youths of the same village were given sticks to beat their own parents. How will it feel that I am given a stick to beat my own father, which may result to death of my father? And after, at the end of the day, the individual who crafted that situation has to lose power, and I am still yearning to get that man back here to rule me. Is there nothing to read between the lines or to understand?
No, you tell us. We don't want to read between the lines. We want you to tell us.
My suspicion is the cryptism is still working, and that's the problem we have got in the Gambia.
Okay, so now, with regards to those tortures, we have received a statement from one Lamin Bojang, who suggested that you were present when he was being interrogated and he was subsequently tortured. Mark my words, it's not suggested that you participated in his physical torture, but you were present during his interrogation, and he was thereafter tortured. What do you say to that?
I can attest to the fact that I met Lamin Bojang at the NIA headquarters. And he said to me in Madinka dialect that, Diki, you know me since in our childhood, you know me, I'm not a talkative. They bring me here because of these computer issues. I don't know computer, and my knowledge is only limited to the preamble. Tell these people to release me, thinking that I have the power to authorize those people to leave him.
Exactly where was this? Was it before the panel or somewhere else?
No, he was not before the panel. He was sitting downstairs on a chair, to my left as I was passing. So, but then, I was not also happy with him because there was something he did to my father when he was serving the Visaka Bank at Tujareng. He duped my father, with an amount of about 19,000, which my father told me before his death. So I told him that if I am to speak towards your freedom, I will not help you. Because I will ask you about the money that you took from my father, by duping him in the bank as a staff.
You were angry with him?
I was angry with him, but I never choose to touch him because I was never ordered to. I will only touch when I'm ordered.
But do you know whether he was tortured subsequently?
I am sure he must have been tortured because that was the order of the day for the investigation to get to what they want to hear.
After this event, after the killings in Casamas, and after the tortures relating to Ndur Cham's coup d'etat in 2006, what did you do?
From this point, they were not able to get me to work. I was opening the gap, since from the Ghanaians, the mercenaries who were now described as Ghanaians, their incident, I had started getting away, which you call a wall. At this,
which the military calls a wall.
Okay. Whatever you call it.
No, it's what you call it. Not
okay.
Proceed, please.
No problem with that.
Proceed, please.
And from this incident was when I started asking this question as to what do you people think about us be used against our people instead of rendering service. And this, I said this immediately after the Ghanaians issue. That was the mercenaries.
Being used by who?
By the command.
And who constitutes the command?
anybody who would have been, above my rank.
Yes,
Under this, because I have had this statement at around customers by one of the command that even the drivers must be used, or else they will talk.
That was the Casamas incident,
Yes, sir.
the execution of the Ghanaians.
Yes, sir.
So in essence,
Ghanaians
with regards to that,
mercenaries.
you saying they were saying that everybody must participate.
Everybody must be used, not do what participate. They said must be used.
What would you understand used to mean in this context?
In this context, I analyze it as they were using us for their own personal interest, not national interest.
Whose personal interest?
The commander-in-chief's personal interest.
Who would be who?
That will be the president, Yahya Jammeh.
And you did not like this?
I didn't like it. My concept of coming into the job, I said it yesterday. It was to serve my people on a very right course, protect them and defend them.
So you discussed this among members of your team?
We didn't discuss it. I asked this question when we were on a normal patrol in the evening.
Where was that?
This was between Kamfenda and Bunyei on the highway. The vehicles were moving and they were chatting. I only popped up with this question in the vehicle.
Who were you with at the time?
I was with Mustafa in the same vehicle. I think Ismail Jammeh was from the rear.
Mustafa, what's his last name?
Mustafa Sane.
And who else you just mentioned?
I think Ismail Jammeh was from the rear vehicles.
Okay.
So
And
when
then?
I said this question, Mustafa was a close associate to me. He even knew my father, and he used to come home to be chatting with my father. He popped up from the other side and said to me, "Oi." I said, "Oi." That was how we used to call each other. And then he said to me, meaning, you tend to be showing brilliance. But this one is a mistake. You have to drop it.
What was a mistake that you had to drop?
It's the complaint that why should we be used against our people instead of rendering service? What do they think about that? I had to drop that because I tend to be showing brilliance. And he said it in Maniga in this way. This one is a mistake. You have to drop it.
And then what happened after?
Then I responded that in the event I cannot, he said it's going to be dangerous. I said, then I think you will show me the danger because me, I'm not comfortable in this whole setup. I'm up to leaving. That's my mindset. They stopped the vehicles, and all of a sudden, everybody came down. So he said to me, So I realized
What does that mean in English?
When people are to advise you, you will never listen. I realized that those guys from the rear vehicle, I can't remember exactly who and who at this point in time, but they were trying to fidget with the safety catch, and I know that by getting the safety catch down, if they cock the rifle, they may shoot. But already my rifle was cocked. I pushed my safety catch click down, and I said, let me see anybody fidgeting with your rifle here or cocking handle. I also went into an insult. So Ismaila came, surprisingly, to mediate and get this matter solved. He mentioned this statement, he even discussed about this situation in our detention in Yundum prior to my getting a problem with him. That divided us, and I was transferred to Fajara Barracks. He explained it in the guard room.
Was the matter resolved?
He resolved the matter, but yet they couldn't use me on what they want further.
Were you again called for an operation?
Nay. The only operation I was there to witness was in the aftermath of the 2006 treason.
Let's talk about Haruna Jammeh. Can you tell us about that event?
I talked about Haruna Jammeh. This happened shortly before or after the mercenaries incident.
Yes.
When I was in that attitude of running away. I was called upon, but before I was called upon from Combo, during my stay in Kanilai, Haruna was picked by the NIAs on arrest from home. But first he was picked and was released. During his release, he was at home and the former president was coming home. Haruna stood...
forget about the title. Call the name. Call the name.
Yahya Jammeh was coming home. Haruna was standing at their compound gate with his hands folded behind. And he was just talking to him that, look, blood is thicker than water. They will fool you, but I am your blood. I will tell you the truth. After everything, this is your home, this is where you are going to return.
And then what happened?
Sometimes after that, Haruna was picked again by the NIA. Then I was in Kanilai. So after that picking, I will always make my observation to make sure that I will not be caught by surprise on the ground, because if I am caught by surprise on the ground, I will be put to situations I will not be able to escape.
You would be used to kill?
I will be used to kill, of course.
And that is what you are running away from?
That's what I was running away from. I ran to Combo, and I stayed 2 months to 3 months in Combo. All of a sudden, I received a call. Then my phone was a cement phone. I will only put it on and call him who I want to call at the time. Immediately, I put it off. If they complain, I will tell them that my phone is not good. I have a bad phone. So it happened, my phone was on, a call came in. It was from Tumbul.
Tumbul who?
Tumbul Tamba.
And what did he say?
And he requested me to report to base. I said, well, I am far and I cannot come. So he said to me in Mandinka, you said that Jammeh are your uncles. I said, yes. My mother died with that surname and nobody can change that. Then he just cut it short and said, aha, yo. He rang off. I switched off the phone. So later when I came back to Kanilai, realized that Haruna was not released and would never be heard. I suspected this was the day Haruna must have been, assassinated. That is why when I came into this investigation, I pointed a direction to this incident also, that this man is missing. But this is what I suspected, and I suspected that
Did you subsequently get to learn about what happened to Haruna?
During my detention, I heard it in the news, and that the person who was involved in his killing also told me point blank.
And who is that person?
That was Staff Sergeant Umar Jallo.
Is he known by any other name?
He is known by the name of Oya, nickname Oya.
And what did he say?
He said, when I was called upon by the command to come to report back to Kanilai, I felt I did not come. He was borrowed from the plain clothes to be going on that operation. But he went into that operation with Aliu Jeng. Astaghfirullah. I think Sanamanjang and Aliu Jeng he mentioned to me.
Yes.
My memory can serve me well.
And then what happened?
Well, he didn't explain to me further how they conducted the mission.
But what did you learn happened to Haruna Jammeh during that mission?
I learned that Haruna was killed.
By who?
By these people I am mentioning from his own statement, his explanation to me.
That is Sana Manjang?
If I can remember well, from his own explanation. I am not speaking my own explanation.
That's right. I know what you're saying is hearsay.
Yes, sir.
But just tell us what you heard.
Yes, he told me that he was there with Sanamanjang, I don't know, with Alujang, something like that, if my memory can serve me well.
Okay. As far as you can remember, Sanamanjang, Alujang, and Oya,
yes, sir.
Who is Omar Jallo, they killed Haruna Jammeh.
According to his own explanation during this detention.
That's right. Let's now talk about the other operation you attended, in which you were present, where Daba Marena and others were involved.
This also was, we were called upon as a normal patrol. As I told you that, soldiers will be gathered and they will never be told what is the errand they were going for. We boarded the vehicles, the same official vehicles of these two commanders, Tumbulu and Solo Bojang.
Tell us who was involved.
The bodyguards were involved.
Tell us the names of everybody.
Sekou Jallo was one of those who escorted these guys.
Sekou Jallo, yes.
Seni Jammeh was one of them who escorted them.
Seni Jammeh?
Yusuf Sane was one of them who escorted.
Yusuf Sane?
And Omar Jallo was one of them who escorted.
Omar Jallo?
Borakoli also was there.
Borakoli?
Michael Correa was there.
Michael Correa. Those were the escorts?
Those were the people who came from outside our team with these escorts, with these victims.
Okay. So that group brought in the victims?
Yes, sir.
And your team consisted of who?
My team consisted of Tumbulu Tamba, Solo Bojang, Sanamanjang, myself, Michael Jatta, Mfansu Nyabali, Mustafa Sane, and Ismaila Jammeh at this time.
Aliu Jeng, was he there or was he not there?
He was.
He was there?
He was there.
That's your testimony?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the
Thank you
team
for reminding me.
comprised of, as you said, Aliu Jeng, correct?
Yes, sir.
Pansu Nyabali, Ismaila Jammeh, Mustafa Sane,
correct.
Yourself,
myself,
Solo Bojang, Michael Jatta, Sanamanjang, and Tumbul Tamba.
Correct.
Good. So now 2 groups are involved in this operation.
Yes, sir.
One group brought in the victims.
They didn't even bring them right to the place. We met them on the road.
Okay. And who did they bring?
They brought in this Deeba Marena, Alphaba, Ibulo, Aliu Sise, if I can remember correct. The former president's sister, Masi Jammeh. And there was a woman, a lady, I did not know, but when she was being escorted by the guy to eliminate her, passing by us where we were standing, I heard this man asking the lady your name, and I can still remember the name of the lady, and that is Julia.
And who else? One more person?
Malafikor.
Manlafikor. So let's get the names again correctly, right? Manlafikor, correct?
Correct.
A woman called Julia, correct?
Correct.
Yaya Jammeh's cousin or sister, Masi Jammeh, correct?
Correct.
Is it Masi Jammeh or just Masi Jammeh?
I knew her as Masi. It's only later on during this investigation I had the name being quoted as Masi, but I knew her as Masi. And she's somebody that is not a new person to me. She was a good woman. She was a kind woman to us during our stay in Kanilai.
And then you have Aliu Sise, correct?
Yes, sir.
And Alphaba?
Correct.
Ibulo?
Correct.
And Deeba Marena?
Correct.
Okay, and what happened when Oya and Borakoli and others arrived with this group of people?
Solo took the lead again and bent to the right using his those old bush roads. And this time, where he stopped, as I was in the car, I came down, fine. At this point in time, there was a tree. It was a dead tree, I presume, because it was in the night. You could see the 2 branches up there. I saw that tree in the first day when Manjang took in Ndongombub into the bush. That tree was what I recognized at that point. And I believe it was the same place that this time round, the convoy, the patrol teams were stopped with these guys. Because the tree was just 2 branches up. There was no foliages in the darkness. But the other trees surrounding were with foliages, indicating that this must have been a dead tree.
So you recognize that tree?
I recognize that tree.
And you recognize the place as the place where Ndongombub was executed?
Once I was able to see that those branches up in the night, I recognized the place, and I remembered that time back, we have once come here and Manja went with Ndongombub into this area.
And then what happened when you arrived there?
These people were all brought. That was the time I, in person, knew that there were people brought as suspects, as victims to be, rather.
There were people brought to be executed?
Yes, sir.
And then what happened?
Then They were guided on the road, but we were in front. We went to a certain point. I stopped, I brake track to the right, and I stood. I was not in the mood for operation. I didn't want it, and I didn't want to walk anymore.
You didn't want to kill?
No, I don't want to do it. Already I have started complaining that why are we to be used against our people instead of rendering them service. So I took that chance and I just folded my hands. At this point, these two subordinates of mine, Mfansu Nyabali and Jeng, I can fully remember that of Jeng, but Mfansu is still gloomy in my memory, I'm sorry. You know, these two boys came and stood beside me. They were not, participating directly, but we were all present.
And then what happened?
Then I saw Manjang coming with Mercy. First, he was pushing her. At a point, he just knocked the lady's legs down. And the woman, since from the vehicle, was praising God's name, saying Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, and was mentioning this continuous until the time she was just brought down. In her attempt to get up from the ground, Madam put the pistol on the head and give her a shot in the head.
Point blank.
At point blank range.
Remove your hand from your mouth.
Point blank range. At point blank range.
He just blew up her head.
Yes, sir.
What happened next?
The others were just moved. They passed us. If I may be correct in my estimation, it may be about between 5 to 7, 8 meters. But yet still it was in the darkness, but it was in the shrubs. When I said shrub, not a thick bush, a light bush. So they were seated down. Sandy came with this other lady from the back.
Who would be who?
That was Julia.
Julia,
As they were passing by us who were standing, she asked the lady her name.
Seni, what is his last name?
Seni Jammeh.
Any relationship with Yaya Jammeh?
Nay.
Okay, all right. And he passed with Julia, and then what happened?
As they were passing, he asked the name. The woman replied, when already they were just passing us, I picked the name. But because of this situation there, I would never forget these names. Because these are things always I will be thinking about along the time. Since my departure up to date, I will be thinking and remembering these things.
Yes, and then?
As they passed us, she gave a shot on the back of the lady, and she fell. And she gave another shot when she was on the floor.
That would be Seni Jammeh?
Yes, sir. But to my surprise, during the investigation, he was called upon to be questioned, and he was still arguing. I invite him that's the Quran. If he is a believer and he will not take the Quran as mockery, that is the Quran.
It is your firm conviction that it was Seni Jammeh who killed Julia?
That is the Quran.
It's your firm conviction?
Yes, sir.
And what happened next?
Then these people who were seated just at a distance, one of them attempted to escape.
Who was that?
This was Aliou Cissé.
Remove your hand from your mouth so we can hear you. Sorry.
This was Aliou Cissé.
And then what happened as he tried to escape?
As he tried to escape, he received a shot that conveyed him into what I believe was a well. And this shot came from the bodyguards. But my belief, I believe, because the bodyguards were sitting together, I believe the shot was from Omar Diallo.
What do you say to the suggestion that he was not present?
If he says that, then I will completely believe that he is lying and he was present. If he would tell me that, he did not shoot at that time, somebody else shot, I will have these two minds, because firing a shot is too quick. When you are seated, close to somebody, and somebody just rushed to jump, and all of you jump, I had the shot, I believe it was from you, you can tell me that, yes, it was not me, maybe you had it from somebody's gun, but that I am not present in the whole show, that's a lie.
Your evidence is that Oya was present.
He was present.
And then what happened next?
Then from this point, the rest were being shot, but I cannot tell you who exactly was shooting who.
And who was it that was shot?
Pardon?
Who were the others, the rest that were shot?
This would have been Deeba Marina.
No, I want the actuals, not would have been. Just tell me who exactly was shot.
This would be Deeba Marina, Alphaba, Ibulo, Malafikor.
And what happened to them?
After all the shooting was done, I saw them being lifted, thrown into that ditch that I believe was a well. But I didn't get close to that place, neither did Jeng or this third person, Nyabali, I believe.
And they were all dumped in that well?
Yes, sir.
And then what did you do?
We were ordered to come back to the vehicles
and Mr. Chair, perhaps this is a convenient time to stop for the break.
I will ask for the forgiveness of the general mass, because these are painful stories. Myself, I'm pushing myself to say, but I'm not comfortable with this. And this is why sometimes you are telling me, take your hand from my mouth.
Let us take a break, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Council. We will take a 30-minute break and come back at 12 noon. Meeting is adjourned.
ñoo ñëw ak yéen rek skincare plus nara jàkkaarloo ak yéen waxtaan ak yéen tuuti rek si suñu tube suñu baax emuñ rek ci ay diw waaye comme ni ngeen ko xamee rek dañoo yëngu ci ay tube te yënguwuñ nag si just any tube suñ tube bu nekk 5 star jas na la 5 star jas na mooy jas na bi gën a pire moom la ñoo tube palmaan bi gën a fort moom la ñoo liggéeyee buñ demee Bamako ñun duñ dem ci marché bi rek buub indi déedéet dañ leen a jox suñu specs ne lañ nii lañ ko buggee nale lañ ko buggee fóot bi nangami fóot lañ bugga pour mu mun a set waaw cuubi skincare déedéet doo ko sol mu di la taxa all over the place ci gàttal ñun rek si cuub dara du doy day des not only dañoo cuub but bu la neexee ñu cuubal la ba pare nag ñawal la ñaw fi mu gën a setee nag rek la ñoo fëlee ñetti ñawkat lañ am nañ ñawkati simple nga xam ne xoppati rek mbaa def sa taille basse def sa dagit def sa roba amul benn dawme am nañ koo xam ne moo ñoo dawme jigéen den am nañ tamit special ñawkat boo xam ne ñawi góor rek la ñoo defal nga bugg sa his and hers muy korité muy tobaski mbaa muy ngénte muy takka mbaa nga bugg rek def sa yëkka bu baax a baax daagul ba ñëw skincare plus ñu dimbali la tànnal la cuub fam gën a baaxee ndax sa yëkka gën a foor lii nga ne lan xoolal bi takka la skincare fii la fu léegi yéen tey we not all about skin we are skin
care, and the plus. And the plus does come in so many different ways. Cubantu winde dan cubam sap-sap.
Look guys, you guys got very big rams. I hope you don't get it from where I'm suspecting. Do you think you're the only one who knows where all the good news come from? My son bought me this ram all the way from abroad with baluwo.
Oh yes, this must be baluwo. Me too, my daughter just bought one for me. True baluwo. With baluwo, everything is possible.
This Tabaski, you can buy ram for your family using the trusted Baluwo. Just log on to the www.baluwo.com website or download the app. You can buy ram, otherwise foodstuffs such as rice, sugar, cooking oil, and much more for your family this Tabaski. Baluwo, better than sending money.
Look guys, you guys got very big rams. I hope you don't get it from where I'm suspecting. Do you think you're the only one who knows where all the good news come from? My son bought me this ram all the way from abroad with baluwo.
Oh yes, this must be baluwo. Me too, my daughter just bought one for me. True baluwo. With baluwo, everything is possible.
This Tabaski, you can buy ram for your family using the trusted Baluwo. Just log on to the www.baluwo.com website or download the app. You can buy ram, otherwise foodstuffs such as rice, sugar, cooking oil, and much more for your family this Tabaski. Baluwo, better than sending money.